Skye Squad, we are back in the building, and look who we have here, a special guest on a special day. We got Miss Ashley Silva, or
Yeah.
Ashley Brittany. Which do you prefer?
Either way, I mean, it's my name.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, I'm so used to calling you Ashley, but I always see the Ashley Brittany.
Well,
And
I mean,
so,
that's
branding wise, what do you prefer?
I like Ashley Brittany for Brandon
Okay,
wise.
okay.
That's been my name my whole life. I had a different last name, for 20 something years. So, but Ashley Brittany, and that's all my social media too. So I feel like it's easy.
Did you start with that when you started your? Because you've been in entertainment for a long time,
Yeah,
whether people know it
yeah.
or not.
Yeah, I think I've always used Ashley Brittany because that's always been all of my it's always been my email address. It's always been my social media name since I started social media. So yeah.
You know
But
what's funny?
yeah, before I got married, we had like Facebook and MySpace and stuff like that. So all of that was still Ashley Brittany.
You know what's funny? I feel like, I've gotten to know you better over this past year, and it's still little things that I learn, right?
Mhm.
So you basically were me before I was me in this to a certain degree, right?
Yeah, I am, one of the OGs of doing like vlogging and blogging and all of that. And my hat goes off to you guys. And that's why I try not to give bloggers and vloggers a hard time when they talk ish about us because I used to do the same thing. So I get it.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know because when I first started, I had to debate in my mind. I was like, "Oh, am I gonna review this show this season?" Because it's difficult when you actually interact with people and you got
Mhm.
to talk about them. So you don't always know how they're gonna take it. But at the end of the day, I want to support the show,
Yeah.
right? So that's the most important thing to me. So y'all just got to kind of deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
And
As
that's
it
kind of
comes.
the reason I stopped blogging. I started becoming like more friendly with people. And I was like, girl, I hate your boyfriend. And people were sending me pictures that, he out here doing this and I don't want to post that. So when I had I'm Super Gorge, Sharala was a part of that.
Uh-huh.
We had kind of switched lanes into more of the personal side of things. So I always say like, people weren't even really using the words like millennial and things like that. We didn't even really get it. So I was
Yeah.
doing like millennial motherhood things then and marriage stuff. And Sharella was really our like sex positive girl. And another one of my friends that was a part of it, she was the single girl at the time. We were all in our 20s, and it was like how different we all were at that time. So it was a pioneering phase of all of this.
You ever think about bringing it back, especially now that you are in this space?
I've thought about it before. Alicia and I did Fun Time Moms for a few years, which was kind of a branch off from I Am Super Gorge. But I loved having all the different personalities and women at different stages of their lives. And I would love to do it now because now we're about to enter into our 40s. And at that time, like I said, we were in our 20s. So it was like how different life is 10, 15 years later.
I was watching you on, just trying to do my little research and stuff. I was watching you on, I do not remember her name, but she was a part of Horrible Decisions. I just saw you
Oh,
do that.
see, the thing is, part.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it just made me think to myself, I could so see you doing something like that now.
Yeah. I feel like you've said that before.
Yeah, like I mean, you got that. I mean, you just got that thing. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
I mean, I do love it. I do love it. I went to school for broadcasting. So it's always been what I wanted to do. I think for me, I'm someone who I do get in my own way or in my own head. So when, like you said, 12, 13 years ago, we had an online radio show, which is technically now a podcast.
Right.
And then when I saw everybody else popping up podcasts, I'm like, oh, it's oversaturated. Are people going to fit? Because I have heard people say like, oh, you trying to start a podcast? I started podcasts, okay? I literally started podcasting, okay? So, sometimes I do get in my own way, like, is it too many people? Is everybody doing this? What else do I have to say that everybody else is not out here saying? But I do love it. I think the interesting thing is finding that or those dynamic co-hosts if you're going to do it with other people. So I have a few ideas. So we'll see.
Okay. I gotta also get into one more thing from the past too, because you did 106 in Park. What was that like?
I did. So funny when Free and AJ left the show, they had like an open call, and I remember I told one of my girlfriends, I was like, I'm going to this open call. I was like, I don't care. I was going to be in line all night long. She was like, okay, I'm coming with you. We're going. I had like a little Hyundai. It was a blue Hyundai. Her name was Skye. I still love her. So I was like, okay, we're going. I had my bags packed, sitting at the door, and waiting for my friend to get to my house. Hours passed. I'm like, girl, where are you? She's like, my boyfriend doesn't think it's a good idea for us to go. And I was like, well, I don't want to go by myself. So I didn't go to the audition. Yeah, so I didn't go to the audition. Fast forward years later, when the game first moved to BT, they were doing an after show. I was asked to audition to host that. And while I was there to audition, they were like, oh, do you want to come on and talk about people's clothes? And I was like, yeah, of course. I would love to come on and talk about people's clothes. And it's so funny. The first person who had to talk about was Nene Leakes. And this was, what year was this? I think it was 2013. So social media wasn't what it is today.
Right.
But I do remember people like eating me up, like, how dare you talk about Nene Leakes and you didn't like her dress or you didn't like her shoes or whatever it was that I didn't like that Nene had on. And I was like, okay, y'all mean.
But that's the thing about you that I feel like people will either resonate with or not, is that fact that you are just very honest.
Yeah.
And, that I think is an asset on a reality TV show. Do you feel as though this season, your honesty, how do you feel like it's going to be received? And how has it been received with the first 2 episodes so far?
People don't like it. People don't like honesty. I think people fear it and they don't realize that they fear honesty. I don't want somebody telling me BS about myself, and neither does anybody else. But I am someone who I've always been my worst critic, and usually I'm your worst critic too. So, it is something that I know I have, and I've worked on. I'm telling you guys. I think in season 1, I told Monique, like, I used to be a mean girl because I felt like it had got a lot better. It has gotten a lot better. I tell all the time, I tell our producers, I tell my cast, like, y'all have not saw me at a 10. Y'all have gotten like an 8, 8.5.
Hold on. You in the basement was not a 10.
No, that wasn't a 10. Joy walked out of here in one piece. That was not a
10. Can I tell you that is one of my favorite? Like, I have, like, when I go back to moments in reality TV, that has become a favorite of mine.
Really? I do. I cringe watching it. It. Yes, I say to myself, when I told her to get the F out, I should have just came back and had a drink. And I should have just let it go.
Well, my perspective is this: like, you cannot disrespect me in my house.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Like, I mean, I could be wrong, I could be right, but you could disrespect me outside at the hotel, down to the event, but not here.
And that's how I felt, and that's how I feel. Like, girl, you could cuss and fuss with me everywhere else. 7-Eleven, you want to go down there? We could get it on, but up in here, where my name is on it, where my bed, my clothes, my shoes. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, I mean, in hindsight, looking at it through a calmer, more mature eye, I'm like, why don't you just let the girl go? Just let her go. Or I should have told her when I first saw her, like, you have disinvited yourself. But yeah, sometimes watching it back, I am watching it kind of, like a scary movie. Like
I don't think I would be able to watch myself. Like I can't. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do
it
it.
is cringe. It is cringe sometimes, as the kids would say. And then I try to watch, and that's the thing. I try to watch it by myself. Like I don't want anybody else watching it with me. So like my kids, they don't really watch it. I only let Ashton watch like if she's on an episode. Well, Antonio is 16, so he
You can
won't
watch
tell me. Yeah, he won't tell me if he's watched it. And as we saw on, one of the recent episodes, Winter's boyfriend, when she told him she loved him, he said, stand on that. So the other night, my son was down here with me. He was going upstairs. I was like, good night, I love you. He was like, stand on that. I was like, I'm watching this show.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to know, why do you think that Joi wanted to keep this marriage a secret? Because my thought is, and I'm just going to say this, the best kept secret is one that isn't told. So, what do you think was her rationale for wanting to keep this secret? Because ultimately, them being married is a beautiful thing, I would think.
Yeah, I think, most people would, be screaming it from the rooftops. You did meet and fall in love on television. Your husband, he did plan to have a public proposal to you on the morning news. At the time, I had my ideas of why I thought they wanted to keep it a secret from the public, because I felt like they wanted it to be this big to do,
Gotcha.
And watching the show, when I hear them saying, "Oh, we wanted something for ourselves," it's like, let's add this to the list of lies that you guys keep telling. Like, y'all wanted a spinoff. Y'all had already been in talks about that.
Oh, that now, as you say all of this, and I look back at, now I ain't gonna lie, it was a long time ago. But as I look back at the beginning of the season, now it all kind of falls into place.
And this is not me dropping this tea. Carmen, who has been introduced to the show, she's been on a lot of different platforms, and Carmen was a really integral part about pushing them to befriend the Love and Marriage DC cast. She was an integral part about, why they should be on the show, to put them in a bigger arena so that people would care more about them getting married, well, having a wedding, or possibly having kids, or whatever it was. So yeah, I mean, child.
So then talk to me about this throuple of it all, because I guess for me, like, I wouldn't, as a viewer watching the show, and me trying to pretend like I don't know nothing, right? As a viewer watching the show, it would be for me like, why would you tell me, people tell y'all you're a throuple, if you don't want people to think that you're a throuple?
I think a lot of people do stuff for storyline purposes. People
Gotcha.
like the attention of certain things, whether it's true or not. And I don't, I couldn't imagine playing with my marriage that way. Yeah,
No.
not today, not tomorrow, not next year, never. Like, I'm not playing my marriage in any capacity for a television show, for viewers, for likes on Instagram, whatever it is. And I think that some people do not understand that about marriage. I mean, Joy's very new to marriage. Clifton, he should know better. He had been married multiple times before, so he should know better.
Yeah, it's almost like speaking, because we know how reality TV works, right? In the sense of, when you say it, especially if you say it, then what does the audience has no choice but to think it. So you're speaking this thing into your life that's just, it's just odd. It was odd to me to hear
Yeah.
them say it, right?
Yeah, I think that it was their plan. And I think that they had an initial plan, which was, let's keep talking about, oh, are we going to get married? Are we not going to get married? Are we going to go to the church? Are we going to go to the whatever? And then when they couldn't do that anymore, it was like, okay, well, what's our new thing? Oh, that people could be interested in. So let's play with our marriage that we now have.
What would it take for you and Joi to get to a space where you are friendly?
So you guys still have what, 9 more episodes to go of the rest of the season. You may see me and Joi get to a better place.
Okay.
You may.
That's promising.
You may. I think anything might be better than the place that we currently left off, because the last time we see her on the show, she's screaming out my house, we enemies, bitch. So I think anything might be a little better than that.
Okay. And so let's talk about you and Erana.
Mm-hmm.
These first 2 episodes, I got to tell you, I have enjoyed them so much, and I'm actually a little bit like, why did y'all hold this season back? Because so many of the conversations, at least in these 2 episodes, I feel like seem so real.
Mm.
Like, I love that you and Erana didn't wait to have a conversation. What led to, for you, the urgency to have that conversation and not like wait several weeks?
Well, for you guys and the viewers, I think it's disappointing because on the first episode, Erana says she hadn't talked to me since the Christmas party, which was not true. I had the Christmas party, we filmed, and then 2 nights later, I had a girls' night. Erana was here. Sharella was here. I think Carmen even was here. Like, so I was like, Erana, like, you have talked to me. You've been at my house. Me and you have texted. Me and you, we haven't talked about Joi. So maybe say that.
Gotcha.
So to me, this whole, I felt like she was picking sides thing, how it comes off on TV. I only felt like that once filming picked back up, because we didn't talk about Joi for almost 3 weeks.
On the show, she says something to the effect, or alludes something to the effect, of you being maybe a little jealous of her friendship with Joi. How do you feel about that?
I've only heard that the same time you guys heard it on the show. She never said that to me.
Okay.
So to me, it's a little disappointing. You have been around all of us, I think. Honey, I am the ball of fun and energy. Like, you guys are not.
But see, that's also the thing for me that makes reviewing the show sometimes difficult, because, like, I try also not to. I don't want to know anything beyond the episode that just aired, because I want to make sure that when I'm talking, I'm speaking as authentically as what I see on the scene.
Yeah.
But I also, again, come into contact with you guys, so I know, like, different personality traits, right? So I just want to make sure that I don't always give away what I feel like.
Yeah, and I
know,
I agree. I think that, but so sometimes for me, when I do hear viewers' comments, because I'm like, well, you guys don't know me, and I understand how it may look on the show. Like, I was not jealous of Joi and Erana's friendship. I hang out with different sets of friends all the time. I've hung out with you and your best friend. Like, I don't, like, I fit in with anybody. I have a great time with anybody. And most people have an amazing time when they're around me. Joi and Erana, before there was a falling out, I think on the show, it seems like I met Joi on the show. I didn't meet Joi on the show. I actually met Joi before Erana had met her. All 3 of us had hung out. We would have good times. But I did feel like Erana was inserting herself in the middle, especially after we came back from filming. I just felt like, if Joi don't want to accept my apology, she don't want to accept my apology, child. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Literally, while we were on break, Erana and Jamie had their anniversary last year in January. She invited Quick and I to come. They were going to, I think Mexico or Jamaica or whatever it was. At the time, Quick was still dealing with like his health problems and all of that. So I was like, give me like a day or two. We can probably come like towards the end. They left to go on vacation. I'm about to comment on her story, and Joi and Clifton are there. I'm like, this is the same lady who last week just screamed out my house, we enemies, bitch, and you didn't think to tell me they were going to be on vacation. Like, these are the kind of things that were happening that you guys don't see. That I felt like, yes, this is a little effed up that you wouldn't tell me they were going to be there. So that is actually what Erana is. A lot of people say Erana shouldn't have apologized to me on this episode. Erana was apologizing to me because I was upset about her trying to swindle me into a vacation with someone else. She wasn't necessarily apologizing to me about her running out with Joi. And even that, I do feel like I blew that out of proportion at the time. At the time, you know, I was on adrenaline. Like I told you, I was on an 8.5. I'm like, F everybody at that point.
Yeah. I just need a quick note about Quick specifically. I thoroughly enjoy him on the show because Quick, to me, is the type of person that just steps in the mud and don't really realize it. And I like it because it's authentic. And in this past episode with Lil Jamie, he was so passionate. Like, and I wanted to say, Quick, let me tell you how to apologize a little differently. What was your thought in that moment?
Quick is not. People think I'm not good at apologizing. I am not the Silva who thinks that they're always right. Mr. Silva is always right. Usually he's wrong, but to him, he is always right. So that's why, even going into it, I told him, like, listen to what Lil Jamie has to say. He is upset. I felt like little Jamie was more hurt than upset. And that was the only way he knew how to handle it, was to go to social media with it.
Yeah.
And I said that to Quick. I think Quick came off so, we'll say, passionate, like you said, because he did love little Jamie. He did feel like, you knew I didn't mean you're a bad person in life in general. I hate you, anything like that. So I just think in normal conversation, sometimes we say things and we don't understand how a millisecond of a word like bad can affect someone. And I understood where little Jamie was coming from, because I've had conversations with him before. And my mom, still to this day, she tells me I was a bad kid. And I was like, you would think I was out here selling, like I was one of the kids on The Wire. Like, when she says that, I feel like that's what people think about me when she says it. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was talkative. I talked back. But yes, I wasn't bad. I was a straight A student. That's just kind of an asshole. That's what I was. So, and that still cringes me now, 20 years later, for her to say that. So I understood why it bothered little Jamie so much. And I just wanted him and Quick to get to a better place and get over the hurdle that they were in, because on both sides, I think that there was a lot of love there.
How are you and your mom today?
Me and my mom are great. Even with the show, it's when the first episode aired with me and my mom was really upset about it. She did not talk to me for like 2-3 months. Like not answering my phone calls and won't text me back, nothing like that. But now, I think she just felt like a lot of people were also attacking her, when it comes to social media, which again goes back to the whole little Jamie thing. Once other people start having their opinions, because my family, my friends, they all know the story. Yeah. We've all talked about it before, but now when it's the outside world looking in and your mail lady looking at you like, you're a bad mother, you're feeling some kind of way, so but yeah, it's a hurdle that we've gotten over. You guys will see my mom in an upcoming episode, so she's still I'm sure she still thinks I was a bad kid. So
okay. I was wondering how that was gonna pan out. I think sometimes this could be extra sensitive having a mom on there, because like for me, when I'm talking about a mom in a scene, I gotta kind of like hold it back because you know how I'm just taught to think about an elder mom, right? But everybody ain't like that. So
everybody's not like, I mean, some people dogged my mother out. You know, some people dogged me out. They were like, well, why would you do this to your mother on television? You know, so I mean, I get it, but it's so crazy because me and my mom don't have a horrible relationship. We aren't the closest mother-daughter duo, but we do spend a lot of time together. I mean, I have stuff at my house every other day. My mom is here. She's around the kids. But our relationship is still a work in progress.
Okay. Who surprised you the most this season?
Watching it back, Erana. I never saw her be a confessional. I didn't really know what to expect from Joi on the show. Joi is definitely a confessional gangster. But like I said, I'd never heard that Erana thought I was jealous of them and things like that until watching it. And you know, I've seen some of the like interviews and things she's done since, and at reunion, child, it's like, hold on now, horsey.
I'm gonna need you to come back around that.
Yes, we'll revisit that.
We can revisit that exact comment. Before we go, you and Winter are quite a dynamic duo at the moment. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing after the episodes.
Yeah, so we have decided that after all of our new episodes of Love and Marriage CC, we are going live on YouTube to discuss what was going on, things that maybe you guys didn't get to see, and you know, give our little shady opinions about it. You know, I think that the great thing about Winter and I, we both are super witty. You know, we are super quick with it. And one thing I said, even when Winter and I weren't on good terms, was that she was a good sparring partner. You know, nobody else really gave me that. It's like, okay, I would rather fuss with a brick wall than with other people on the show. It's just, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a challenge.
Not the brick wall. Okay, I wanted to make sure to plug that because I also think it's super smart. I love when cast members take, you know, promoting the show into their own hands and further give the audience explanation. And I wanted to make sure that we hit that point so that people know that they can find you guys out there doing that every Saturday night.
Saturday, right after the show. It's a live recap. So we don't have time to sit home and write down notes and nothing. We watch the show with y'all, and then a minute later, we are on YouTube discussing it. And we're going to start bringing people on with it. Well, we had Carmen on because she was on the Throuples episode. We had Carmen on last week. We have another special guest coming on this week, who we will probably announce on Friday. We would love to have you on and other people who reviewed the show.
Y'all know I'm down.
Talk about it. Yeah, because I know y'all be getting y'all notes ready. I want off the top.
I do be getting my notes ready. I ain't gonna even lie, but you know I got to stay organized for the people because when I do my review, I'm talking to also people that didn't watch, right?
Yeah.
So then they know what to expect when they do go back and watch.
Yeah, but I'm thankful for the people who do review it. You know, because it does gain us more viewership and maybe introduce us to different audiences who may not have been watching or wouldn't have watched before. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I think that is the perfect place to end. Until next time, because you got to come back, and I will, of course, when y'all need me, just let me know. Yeah. Ashley, tell the people where they can find you and anything else that you got that you want to promote.
Okay, I'm on all social media at Ashley Brittany, everything across the board. My audio version of Do That Shit is out. Ashton and I also have our accessory line, fashionashton.com. We are also coming out with a tween teen skincare line that will be dropping this spring, which I'm very, very excited about. And Quick and I are in partnership to open up a Miss Toya's in a Baltimore location this spring as well. So that is really exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Because people are like, what do you do all day? Honey, I collect these checks. That's what I do all day.
I need to be there. I went to the one in Silver Spring and I
Yes,
thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's
really
a good
good.
look. And
Yes,
congratulations.
thank you.
All right, Sky Squad. That is Ashley Brittany. Be sure to tune in and tap in and be turned on to Love and Marriage DC every Saturday night on at 8 p.m. Ashley, we will talk to you later.
All right.